Might notice that this isn't my usual location for having the stream at. This is from my garage. The house is a bit... Well, it's we're unable to use the house at the moment, so I need to sit in the garage. So you guys are joining me in the garage tonight for some chess. But for chess, we all make a plan, right? So welcome everybody. Welcome Marcia, as usual. Angela Nkosi, Captain Coman, Sepatu, and James. Dinim, welcome guys. Sorry for starting late, but here we are now. Luckily, we managed to get this thing going. Still, we're not late for the event, luckily. I can maybe try and... We do have the playing schedule here. I'm going to paste it, the playing schedule around 4, which will be starting soon. Here we go, round 4. Which will be upcoming, I think, as soon as we have Keith and Banele again, same as yesterday night, but opposite side colors pieces. So also let me know if quality-wise, if everything is fine. Let me just see. I need to make this screen a bit smaller. There we go. That's strange. It should be fine. Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody. This is round, or day 2 of the 4-way rapid tournament. Okay. Is everything working? Is my sound fine? Sound, okay, great. Okay. Seems like everything is running well. And internet isn't too bad. I'm sitting on a bit of a flimsy desk. So I just need to remind myself not to touch the mouse too hard or whatever. What happened in round 3? We can discuss that now. Actually, I think I'm going to try and phone. I think we'll start with Keith tonight, since I think Devin is busy playing an event. So I don't know if he'll answer the phone now, but maybe Keith will. But then we'll try and have interviews with the players, just like before the rounds or when they done playing or whatever. So that is the plan. Okay. Sound is good. Okay, welcome everybody. James, you're asking what happened in round 3. Everything is gorgeous. Okay, thanks, man. Okay, so let's quickly phone... Okay, wait. Let's phone a Keith and hear how he's feeling about his chances today. Being the leader, he's got 2.5, and Devin's got 2.5, and Banele got 1, and Marcia with a long castle over there, so he's got 0, 0, 0 altogether. The time is seriously not moving. Okay, let's hear what's up in Keith's world, whether he's prepared for today. Let's go to one of his games he played recently. I'm not sure if he will answer. Okay, not everyone is up for interviews. Okay, so he ended yesterday with a draw. He beat Banele, which was a big game. And, well, he also beat Marcia. Pretty devastatingly. That was quite a devastating game. Marcia didn't have any chance at all. Okay, so I'm not getting response from Keith. We'll try Banele, but I think Marcia should be answering as usual. Devin is playing at the moment, so I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, guys. So here is the scores. I actually should make a quick notepad of them. Wait. So our leaders are Keith and Devin on 2.5. Keith and Devin have 2.5, and then Banele on 1, and Marcia on a flat 0. There we go. Okay, so that is how it's looking at the moment. Okay, so I assume Devin won't be answering because he's still playing in a tournament. We can actually go to one of his games he's playing at the moment. But let's keep to the Wolves TV. Just in case he starts. But he should be playing against Banele first game. that should be happening now. By the way, which of you guys are going to be playing the 24-hour tournament that's starting, I think, at 3 in the morning? I'm seriously considering it, not sure if I will. Let's go to the guy that wins. He's online because he's playing an under 14 tournament at the moment. Wait, he's done. Okay, so it looks like they might be starting. No one's up for an interview. Okay, let's try. Let's get Masia on the record again. It looks like they're ready to play. 6 o'clock. Okay, so they've got fixed times today, but okay. So the guy that wins is also done. Okay, so 4 minutes to go. He just played an Africa under 14 team battle. I think he came first. So he's warmed up, but he has been playing the wrong time format. He's been playing Blitz. He went down in one game, and I think that cost him a bit of rating. Yeah. That couldn't have been nice, but so Online under 14 wins this tournament. The guy that wins, and then the guy that learns, which is Quibus and Michael Simpson. Yeah, the 24-hour tournament is coming. Wait, let's try and show you guys where it is. Here it is, the summer marathon. It's going to be, it's starting in 8 hours, so you can do the maths. It should be starting, well, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So I don't know. I'm not that big a fan of Bullet at the moment, so I doubt I will be playing. But maybe. If I'm up to it tomorrow, I'll put in a few hours. Okay. So I'm not seeing... Okay, so the Devon we need to follow here. Okay, we need... Lefu, what's up, man? Do you want to qualify for this tournament? The one where Keith and them have been playing. I'm not sure, man. They weren't really open about how to qualify for it. And it is rapid, so it's like a different time control. So... yeah, they were a bit discreet about how it works to enter into the tournament. By the way, for those of you just joining, I see a few of you just joining right now because it's 2 minutes to 6. The games will be starting soon. There goes the garage. There should be disturbance for this first moment, but I don't think too much. Hopefully it's over. Ja, kan dit doen? Ja, in doen ook, ja. Ja, dank je. Okay, no games have started yet. Welcome to the garage, by the way. This is where we get our chess done. Go like all Fight Club members. You can only play good chess when you're in the garage. So that's what's up at the moment. We're waiting for the guys to start. I think they'll start exactly at 6 o'clock. So that is what is up. Maybe let me just. I can actually do something. I realize this now. Let me try doing this. Oh, you guys are reading all my WhatsApps now. Wait, let me close that. There we go. So I'm gonna have like a legit WhatsApp thing here on the stream. Now you guys can kind of see what's up in terms of the rounds and stuff. So Devon 2.5, Keith 2.5, Banele 1, and Fundo has got a bit of an egg over there. And let me close that even more. And by the way, I think this is today's playing schedule. 6 o'clock, 6:40, 7:20. Don't know what information you guys have over there at the moment. There we go. There's the playing schedule. Okay, we're getting a go with the first game. Let me close my infographic. Let's make it a bit smaller. Look at how high tech I am. Like St. Louis Chess Club and Chess24. They've got nothing on me. Got my high tech WhatsApp stuff over there. with the stats and stuff. Okay, so Benele and Keith, what do you guys think? A quick draw, or are they going to be playing for the money? Nothing's happening yet. Let's go. What's up, Lizo? We have 1d4. I don't think we expected anything else. And this game has also started. I think I want to watch both White's perspectives. What did we have here so far? Okay. So, some Sicilian and a quick trade on c6. But Devon is very comfortable in Sicilian theory. And in this game, we have our normal d4 stuff. By the way, Benele is really going to have to work hard to get back now. He was by far the favorite, and he only has 1 point. Both Keith and Devon, which were a bit of, I think, going into the tournament, and not a lot of people were rooting for them. So they're really proving us wrong with that. Trades. Okay, so what do we have here that's interesting? Not much. Loads of similarities. Pawn structure still the same. Pretty boring. Also good. So my dad's bringing me coffee. He needed to climb through the garage door. Dank je, nee.
Okay.
Dank je. Ja, dank je. Ja, dank je.
Dit aan mij sturen.
Oké.
Oké.
Snel dan.
Nog toe is.
Ja, alsjeblieft.
Wil jij zitten?
Ja.
Druk het nummer 1 dan gaan we toe.
Oké, ik zal wachten tot je onder is.
Er is iemand gaan aflaten in parkeer. En je weet van dat.
Ja.
Bye.
Wait. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Mfundo wins and Benele wins. These are creating jokes. Okay. Okay, guys. I don't know. This seems pretty bland so far. Unfortunately, Benele lost with the white pieces against Keith, so he now needs to struggle with the black pieces for a win, which isn't too great for him. And at the moment, I don't think he wanted to trade there. By the way, when the queen was back here, the c file will be opening up pretty quickly, and some pressure over here. Even though the pawn's doubled, it's a pawn that can be undoubled pretty soon. Keith, I'm telling you guys, he's happy to make a draw here. I don't know if you guys are are agreeing with me on this one, but he'd be happy to make a draw. Yeah, my dad started long hair tradition, so I'm a copycat. Okay, so this seems pretty bland, to be honest. Nothing too tactical or very symmetrical, especially if there's a recapture. Then the pawn structures are the same. The only thing... Okay, here Benele is he going for some asymmetry? I don't know, because if it trades down, then trades very bland. And this seems like a draw, and Keith will be happy to make a draw over here. So that's my verdict for this game so far. Masia, with 0 points, he's going... In his previous game against Devon, he unfortunately lost the exchange tactically, and he wasn't spending enough time. Hopefully in this game he manages to spend more time and make more sound decisions. This looks pretty nice for him though. Black still needs to spend 2 moves to get castled. I don't know, maybe it's fine for black. Knight g6. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Is Devon fine, or is this supposed to be slightly strange and offbeat? I mean, there are some open squares to work with as white. You can try and get a knight maybe on d6 for all that it's worth. Yeah, that is maybe an idea for Masia at the moment. Not sure though. This check is also in the air, so if so that you can maybe try and take this pawn. Even if queen blocks, you can go bishop takes. So maybe Masia needs to worry about this pawn. By the way, can Devon go for that pawn immediately? Is that what he's trying to calculate? Maybe he's calculating queen d4. I think that's what's happening over there. Okay, so Devon didn't go for the pawn. It seemed like a legit pawn, right? So back here, check, and whatever you do, you just go bishop takes, even if the queen defends. So I'm not sure why he didn't want the pawn. Okay, so white looks for more fun to play with. Yeah, but you can't really say who's really better. Black has got the bishop here, and this is something they were competing over yesterday. Over who gets the bishop here. Are you sure you can't grab that pawn, Diesel? I'm trying to... That check. That seems good enough just to grab a pawn. Okay. But for all that it's worth, I don't think you can grab it anymore. Something like rook a1 now. Still that check. Queen... Maybe defends. Maybe you can still try going after the pawn. Yeah, Masia's just giving a pawn. Knight f3 will win the bishop as you capture the pawn. Oh, I get it. So, okay, so when the knight was back there, that check, king moves, bishop takes, and then knight f3. Okay, Menenchele and Lizo, you guys are awake. I'm not awake yet. Need to drink some coffee first. But this is definitely the more exciting out of the two games. This is definitely the more exciting game out of the two. So let's get back to Keith and Banele. Oh, the symmetry. It's not been made symmetrical. Meanwhile, what has happened? We left the game here after this capture and castles. So Banele is not looking to make the pawn structure symmetrical. He's playing for more. So he's looking for every asymmetrical type of choice he can make. But meanwhile, Keith can just recapture. And then pawn structure is the same. You maybe get a queen trades, and he gets the draw. But so we'll see what Keith is up to, depending on whether he takes this knight or not. So far, he hasn't. I think there was a bit of pressure on c4. But I think Keith is happy just with the draw tonight in this game. Still very quiet. So let's go back to Masia and Devon's game. Okay, so rook a e1 is played, just defending this pawn. We need to remember this, and I can always go back to f3 as a tactical resource to defend e5, as Lizo pointed out. So Masia just went to queen c7, and adding more pressure on this e5 point. And also maybe considering queenside. He needs to play for more. He's got 0 points. If he wins all 3 games tonight, what are his chances of actually winning the tournament? Because at the moment, Keith and Devon are at 2.5, so they simply need to win 1 more game, and Masia can never catch up. So that seems like pretty bad news for him, but getting back all 3 games, that will be, I mean, good for his reputation. No, I'm awake, it's just the beanie. Yeah. Playing for a draw, Captain Coman, in a situation where you're playing in a tournament, is a good. I wouldn't say tactic. I'd just call it a strategic way of playing your game, because it takes a bit of pressure off of you if you realize that you don't need to play for a win. You just need a draw, and you're ruining your opponent's chances of placing higher than you are in the tournament. And also, then he kind of makes it Banele's responsibility to take down Devon and stuff like that. He can focus on a different game then. It's impossible for him to win because Devon has to play Keith. Yeah, that's true. No, Masia has no chances. I think mathematically, like, it wouldn't work as well, even if all of them draw. And the guy that wins Lunga is Devon. What's Devon's surname? Is it like Smith or I think it's Smith, Devon Smith. He's an under 14 player, by the way, the youngest in this matchup. And he is in him and Marcia, they are busy leading the tournament. Okay. Devin Smith. Okay, Smith. Smith and Smith. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, Marcia, is he giving up a pawn this time? Do you guys trust the guy? He played knight to e4. And this is an aggressive move. Menenchler was saying earlier on that don't trust him. He's definitely sacking the pawn. There's just 3 attackers. And, well, you do have a discovery check, potentially, with harmful consequences, since both of these rooks and queen can actually also enter relatively well. So, I don't think it's the worst of pawn sacks, just to get the file open. Devin can take that pawn, you guys are right. He can also take it and move later. He doesn't need to go for it immediately. Okay, he can defend it, but I don't think he's got enough defense altogether. Okay, so Captain Coleman, like, one of the reasons Fischer had a no draw philosophy was that, well, wait, isn't Devin now allowing knight to d6? This seems nice. Knight to d6. That seems very nice for Marcia. I don't know if you want to play anything else. Knight to d6, and why would you want to play something else? You can even play d4 after that, and okay, there's not a lot of defense on the e4 square after knight to d6, but that's a great square for the knight. No, Fischer had a no-draw philosophy because the Russians would infiltrate the tournament, let's say 10 of them and 1 American, which would usually be him, and they were only playing for draws against him and would draw against each other and beat each other like they had like a tournament strategy. So there was like never a chance for Bobby to win at all. But modern day chess sees more draws than often, not precisely for that reason, but more because the players are just so strong. Knight d6 feels risky. You like knight f3? Okay, first knight f3 to solidify everything, especially because of the knight a3, if there's a captures, there might also be some kind of discovery with the knight after that. At least taking no, not g5. No, I don't think there was. Okay, this is weird, guys. Come on, this is strange, right? You can take Marcia's not sacking a pawn anymore. Well, his plan is e6. Does that work? The bishop's hanging. Come on, Marcia. Your bishop's got no defense. Takes and e6. Is that? Oh, this is his plan. Takes and rook takes. Sorry, takes, rook takes, and then queen takes, and then e6. Ah. Okay, guys. Marcia's found a great continuation over here. I think this is suddenly winning for him, because you can't touch this knight. Bishop takes and rook takes suddenly is on board. Would that somehow be giving up to a rook and a knight? Can you do it somehow that it's fine for black? After that check, just run back with your queen. King takes. You've got a lot of material, but it doesn't seem good. Yeah. Now see how sneaky over here. Knight takes f7. Great stuff. Rook takes is the idea. This is exciting. Suddenly the game just became very exciting. One check and knight to f7. And he's up a pawn too. He's probably he's probably very happy about that. And Devin, I don't know. Now would be a good time to phone him for his interview to hear his voice shake, because it's definitely going to be slightly rattled now. Oh, we need super tournaments in South Africa where we can actually see the players playing as well, and then we have like a cast, like all these big chess 24 tournaments, so we can see Devin's face fall. Yeah, if you're not sure, draw the game. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I like playing for more always. I'm also not a big fan of draws, But since I started playing for draws instead of wins, your results become better. You don't overextend. Because you need to realize for every move you make, your opponent has some way to find equality. So it's like this golden rule in chess. Like every move has got a great response to it. So you can never be too confident on any move of yours. Okay, so this looks good. This looks good for Marcia. We'll get back to that now. Meanwhile, this has become a backwards pawn. A target for Keith to play for. Who decided not to trade? Okay, so it seems like Keith is actually playing for more. If he wanted to just play a quiet game, he could have captured and gone queen h4, traded rooks. Everything would have been sound. But knight g5 is definitely playing for more. So Keith is not even going to give his friend a chance for a draw. He really wants to take this tournament. Devin is completely lost now. Let's go back to that game. Yeah, he just moved his rook. Sorry, I'm... okay. It looks like a draw in the other game, but this game looks good for Marcia. He's getting an exchange at least. So guys, honestly, do you think Marcia is still going to win this game? I honestly, I like his position and all, but I don't know. An exchange is just an exchange, so it's not like there's literally less pieces now for Marcia. He's still got a bishop at least. For Devin, he's still got that bishop, and it's this bishop over here, which isn't too bad. If the king finds safety, the rook isn't entering on the diagonal yet. There might still be some hope, right? I know it's definitely a lot better for white, but this game is far from over. Oh, who's phoning now? Hello? Okay, that's just an ad. They make these ads with like AI voices and stuff, so I actually think it's people. Like, I know it's a recording of someone, but man. They make, I don't know if they like record some of your calls and then base the voices on the most people that phone you. An exchange and a pawn is too much, guys. Come on. An exchange and a pawn is... Marcia was playing down the exchange yesterday. So this is just inverted. He's getting a5, a4, good game, Marcia. Okay, so this is apparently the plan forwards for Marcia. I don't know, guys, there's a focal point, right? Kind of three pieces aimed here. And this move now, knight g4. I know he wants more trades, so what is his plan? Will he honestly play e6 check after that before he recaptures? So it takes, and then e6 check. King moves to g7, let's say. Oh, and then rook f7. Check. Okay, so king to a8. Let's just see what's the idea. Check, king a8. And then recapture. Oh, this might actually be good. Getting this pawn rolling allows your rooks to enter on the 7th. Getting some trades in. And if not, if just h5, then knight to f6 looks good. And you trade that knight, that pawn moves again with tempo against the king. Okay, guys, I'm with you guys on this now. I think Marcia's got this. And there's nothing tricky with a move like knight a4 that can just be traded off. Okay, so Marcia's got this. What's happening in the other game? Okay. Here's some action. Suddenly, Banele looks quite well. He looks in shape. Keith's plan with queen to d2. What is up with this? Queen to d2. Now queen to b6, and suddenly this pawn's being attacked twice. And how are you defending it? Keith is in the tank now. Does he need to play king f2? It's probably possible to play king f2 here, but it's not an aesthetic move. It's a kind of a desperate move not to lose a pawn. No, okay. Okay, king f2. I don't know. What are your other options for saving this pawn? c5, that walks into a lot of trouble, right? Just recaptures. Is there some tactic? Takes and just takes. No, I don't think there's anything. The queen's always on the spin, and yeah. So I doubt there's anything. Okay, so but we're still gonna spectate. There might just be a moment where I just need to put down the volume for like a minute, and that moment is now. Okay, but I'll still draw arrows and stuff and comment. Musik. Ja, ja, ja. Klavier. Ja, ja. Ja, precies. Ja, nog altijd. Oké, dankie. Dankie. Ja, graag. Dankie. Okay. Test. Sound. Okay. Let's put it a bit louder. A bit louder. Okay, there we go. Okay, great stuff. Okay, so okay, I don't know. My CR is looking good still, but Devin just went in for a pawn, so he's still psychologically in the game. All of that effort, he's probably going to play queen d6, but that allows queen to f7. So maybe it's good game now. Queen d6, queen d7, and play some kind of yeah. I think this marks the end for Devon after queen d6, queen f7. Unless he's still going to play down the exchange, endgame, and be happy somehow. What's up, Sepatu? Okay, let's see. Okay, so this was a very desperate move from Keith. He didn't play Liesel's top recommendation of going queen d4, allowing the trade, or just defending the pawn like this. Yeah, queen d4 and queen takes, pawn takes. That would have been a solution to his problem. But that's not what he went for. He went instead for g4, which is a very aggressive option, looking for counterplay. But Banel has since then gone into a think, and he's been gone for about 3 minutes now, thinking about this move. So okay, guys, what do you guys think? Banel has to be considering something over here. He feels that there's something wrong with what Keith just did over here, and I think a lot of us are also feeling it at the moment. Some kind of tactic in there, and Banele is definitely figuring something out. G4, and this pawn is being attacked twice. There's something, maybe he wants to start with rook takes, right? But I don't know if that works. After c5, I think he needs to calculate. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Yeah, Manesh, I'm also trying to find a way for rook takes e3 to work. After c5, you can play this check, right? And then the king attacks. And then you can actually give up the it's so tricky. You can't really you don't have a move to give up the exchange or anything. So if your queen gets attacked, after rook takes e3, c5, it's tricky. Okay, so he just throws the bishop back finally after a long think. I think that was the correct choice. I don't think rook takes e3 or anything else would have yielded anything. So Keith Lucky gets in a very expansive pawn move. Hopefully his king isn't too exposed now. Yeah, that's another point Lisa is right about. Queen d4, and after the trade, either if you go rook takes, the e pawn hangs, and if you go pawn takes, the f pawn hangs. So Keith was going to lose a pawn, and instead went for a very aggressive counterplay option, g4 and now f5, hitting at these minor pieces. And Keith, sneaky move, says, look at my knight. It can jump to the square. You want to try c5? You know what? I'm just going to take the pawn with tempo against your queen. And I'm holding on to the spin for quite long. You guys like the move f5 now? No. Well, I'm guessing your comments are like a second... let's say 10 seconds before the move happens. So you're commenting a bit slower than the actual game is happening. It's just because of normal YouTube lag and stuff. So Liesel, this is the move that refutes your idea of f5 immediately. f5 immediately walks, gives the square on f4 to Black's knight. Great square. I completely missed this. Let's just see the board from this perspective. It's sometimes good to do that, to switch around. This seems pretty nice for Banele. Knight f4. I know, I'm also appreciating this now. Knight f4, even if you get the chance to play h6, you can maybe nip off that h3 pawn, run back to g5, but I don't think he's planning something so small. I think he's got bigger ideas in mind than that. Okay, so Keith is the one thinking at the moment. He needs to deal with knight f4. And This is a pretty scary move, I guess. What do you do? Can you, if you move your king, like, it might be time to go take that e3 pawn. I think Keith was hoping for knight to e5, because knight h4 looks strange, and any other knight move is very passive, so he might be able to play queen d4 after that. But knight here, queen d4 now. Does it walk into some tactical issues? Yep. Well, does it? What's the problem with going queen d4 now? I think if Keith is looking for a move, I think he's considering queen d4. I think Keith is looking at queen d4. Yeah, queen d4, that is what Keith is trying to figure out. Okay, queen d4, let's play devil's advocate. Oh, king f2. Remember the move I wanted to make earlier. What about h6 now? h6, kick the knight away, just take that pawn. I don't know how good that is. Your knight might end up being trapped. No, not really. h6, yeah, h6 is being played. There's still a pin on this knight. The bishop hangs at the end of queen d4 line. Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that bishop hangs. Queen takes, rook takes. The bishop doesn't hang. Rook takes, and if rook takes here, then rook takes here. Remember, the knight is defending the rook. Don't go pawn takes though, because then the bishop hangs. h6 though. And h3 is hanging. Keith, down under the minute. Rook takes queen though. How does the bishop hang after rook takes queen? I don't see it. h6, Keith going down on the clock. Is knight takes h3 the move we're going to see? I think it might not be the greatest of moves. Knight takes and knight goes back to g5. It gives white that one move to try and figure out what to do about the e6 pawn. He might just play knight to d4. Taking the pawn might be going for something. Might not be going for the most. People are saying white can resign already. Yeah, Lisa, you're right. You're losing the e3 pawn. That's why Keith is going into all of this nonsense. The king f2 nonsense. Just to hold on to material. Because I think you guys can quote me on what I said yesterday about Quadri's words on Baneles. If you give him a pawn, it's game over. You can give him nothing. Okay, so knight to g5. Banella didn't find anything more in that position. Is he considering... Whoa, guys. Tactic alert. Wait, this you need to deal with, so you need to trade. Okay. And after knight takes... Now this pawn is very sensitive again. The king is slightly misplaced. Keith, 8 seconds. Some pressure. Even e4 doesn't work too well. The knight can just take. King f3. Here goes Captain Coman. The g4 pawn's weak. Do you guys want to sack something on g4? Sack a knight on g4. Play g6. Remember, if you get the king to g4, you're just doing a great job in general. King f2. Whoa, this game is moving again. Keith is making some sudden moves. And for all that it's worth, Keith is actually quite fine again, honestly, in my humble opinion. The pawn he's down is this double pawn. Oh wait, no, there's the g pawn that's weak. Who said that? Menenschle said that the g pawn's weak. Keith going down on the clock. What? Gets flagged. Gets flagged right over there. King f2, knight g4. Whoa, Keith though doesn't get flagged often. Whoa. -3. Best move here, rook d2, allow rook e3 check, then go king g2, allow the knight to take on g4. And this is tickets. Tickets. Okay, great stuff. Marcia, he's still playing. Devin with the knight, but this should be winning, right? This should be winning. Okay, so let's see if we can get Banele on the phone, to hear about his victory. Because Marcia will be converting this. Devin is tricky though, but Marcia's got it. This pawn is pushing through, going to e7. Ooh, the knight's still around. But yeah, there goes another pawn. And that'll be +4. There's enough time to play rook to c8, yeah. And now Devin can resign. Is he honestly going to push the pawn? Oh, come on. I can't believe the game is still going on. Nah. Okay. Banele is not answering. Okay, so Mfundo and Banele taking the win. Mfundo's just going to give up the rook. King will be too far. And there's not even enough time to do all of this tricky nonsense. Okay. So. Oh, he's going to play it. But look at how far the king is. Black just resigns. Okay, Mfundo's got the game. Both games done. They're starting in 3 minutes. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe we should. Let's try Keith again. We'll try Mfundo. Okay, so a win for Mfundo and Banele, the two underdogs. So what does that make the score at the moment? I think the score is now well, Banele on 2, Keith and Devin on 2.5, and Marcia at 1. So they are still in the lead. Banele is still a half point behind Keith and Devin, and Marcia still an entire 1.5 behind them. So here we go. I don't know if they'll be starting soon. Okay. Okay, so predictions for next round. I don't know if you guys can see what the next round pairings are on my screen. But there we go. Round 5 is starting at 6:40, which is now. And all the pairings are here somewhere. Here we go. We have Banele and Mfundo and Devin and Keith. Is that on the screen? No. Oh, come on. There we go. Round 5. Banele, Mfundo, Devin and Keith. And that is starting right now. Okay. So Banele and Mfundo. Who's going to take that game? My money's on Banele. He's ready. He's coming back today. He didn't have the best day yesterday, but he's getting that game. And then my money is on Devin. Devin and Banele on the next rounds. That's what I'm guessing. Mfundo wins and Devin draws. Okay, Lizo's giving us totally different predictions over there. But I don't see Marcia winning again. I think it's just that he had one good game. Look at how accurately this guy plays when he plays well. That is super accurately. And knight to d6 check, the recommended move. And it was recommended by the computer for black to give up the exchange and play queen d7 and call it a day. Because the computer sees the exchange being lost in any case after king here and knight takes f7. Here's the tricky nonsense that Marcia was setting up. Rook takes f7, bishop takes... Sorry guys, bishop takes and then rook takes. If queen takes, then e6 check. So, very nice capture on f7, and look at the advantage. After he found that, it was +3, and he managed to play a very clean game over here. Queen f7 instead of rook here was slightly better. Okay. Yeah. And then a clean win. He never gave away the advantage. Okay, the guy that wins, we're waiting for him as well, and for Marcia, and then the round will start. Knight f7 is so far the move of the day. Okay, why aren't the guys starting? Are they... Okay, I'm not sure why they're not starting yet. Maybe we should protest to get them to start the next round. Oh, here... No. Okay, so we've got a Captain Coleman. Are you the Mfundo fan going into the tournament? I can't remember now. I'm a Devon fan, and so far so good, except for this last loss. But I mean, that's all the favorites going in get taken down again. I mean, down goes Keith, down goes Devon after their first day of playing so well, and they were the underdogs yesterday. But today the tables have turned. Okay, what is happening? It's disconnecting now and reconnecting, but it could be that I don't have the capacity to stream much more. It seems fine again. I think something happened. Okay, the guys should be starting. They should be starting. 6:40 was the time, right? I've got the playing schedule. Around 6:40. They're already 3 minutes late. Let's see what's happening. Why? Okay, but I'm still online. Everything is running. And we've got one move over here. Devon has played e4. Still just e4. Okay, what are we going to get in response? c5? I mean, that is the wolf. Oh no, he plays French. We're going to get e6. We're going to get e6 now, any moment. e6, and here goes Banele and Marcia. Okay, this stuff is running again. Only slightly. Okay, the game is also not in full-fledged. Okay, e6 over here. And Marcia will be playing... What does he play? It's black. He plays c5. Okay, there we go. e6 and c5. These are the two moves I'm expecting so far. Okay, Lisa's also calling e6. I think e6 is a good option over here to call. If you're taking... Oh, so you're new to the SHS scene. Well, you're looking at the younger generation of players over here. And usually they don't play so much rapid games and stuff like this. Okay, so I don't know. Are they just hanging around? Are they being a tease? I think they're just teasing us. Banela is teasing... No, Marcia's teasing us. And there we go. e5. Whoa! Okay, my one prediction was wrong. I guess c5 here. But we're getting e5. And I just, maybe Roy Lopez type of stuff. What does Bonelli play? Is he going to play like a Juku Pianu? A very, I don't know. Okay, Roy Lopez. Okay. And in this game, we did get e6. No, we get, by the way, both games wrong. c6 played. And d5. Devon, trying to throw Devon out of prep over here. And playing this closed Caro-Kann situation where your light squared bishop looks a lot the same than a French. So transposes into a French actually, where white decides to extend the pawn. So e5, exactly. e5 and c6, both throwing me off of my trail. Okay, but we're getting normal theory. To be exact, we got a6 and of the bishop a4, just knight f6, castles, and we're waiting to see Marcia's brilliant prep in for this game. Opening prep mind games, yeah, this is all psychological. They're waiting really long, playing stuff you don't usually see. Oh, and I love these structures. I love these structures, absolutely. Honestly, I don't really see Keith going for something like this, although he is a French player. He likes playing a real French where the tempos make sense, and then he does this little maneuver with his bishop, gets it on c6. Yeah. So interesting stuff. I play the white side of this position very often, and I can tell you the thing that you're afraid of black playing, you don't want to let him start coordinating along the lines of the d4 pawn. So you've got some space, but black will strike back sooner or later. Okay, Banele. Martial attack for Mpundo. Everyone's pretty excited. The Caro-Kann transposed to a French. That was precisely Keith's idea. He did not start with the move 1 e6, but it did transpose into something, well, exactly like the French. Okay, so these are the two that aren't doing too well in the tournament. Technically, I think Banele can still play for first place. I don't know what Marcia's chances are. Let me just type down the scores. There we go. Sorry, don't need to change the screen too much. There we go, there's the score now. I'm like a IT graduate with this thing. Scores are updated in the right hand corner here. In your left hand corner. I'm saying this one is personal. We're getting a very slow game. Let's see it from the other side. Seems very typical, all still theory. Knight a5, bishop c2, c5. Knight a5, bishop c2, and then c5, yep. Next few moves. All theory. Actually, Magnus played a recent game. I don't know who it was against. I think it was against Peter Svidler, where he played d5, as you'd expect someone to do, after knight a5, bishop c2 and stuff, c5. And he played a novelty that quite early on in the Roy Lopez, and which is interesting because it usually goes quite deep before the novelty comes. So this is stuff. He actually took on c5, which seems counterintuitive. But he obviously had his own reasons for doing so. I think it... Yeah. Yeah, you can get deep into theory in this line especially. And I think Banele is probably the better prepped player in something like the Roy Lopez. Okay, back to the other game. Whoa! Guys, come on. Take some time. You guys are Just flying. Okay, this seems fine, right? And then Keith went queenside, something I don't see too often in this type of structure, but you can expect from a French structure. Very aggressive. These trades. Also, he wants the G file open potentially, but this is going to be an exciting game. The C file is open. The G file is open. Here comes some trouble. Oh, you guys are saying Banele doesn't open with one e4. That's actually true. That's Masia's style of playing one e4. I actually also don't see Banele ever playing one e4. So it's a psychological game at the moment. It's all about throwing him out of prep. Okay, this game is the game though. Super exciting. Opposite side colors, opposite castles, and some big files to start working with from both sides. Whose king is going to be the safest? That is the big question. Queen g7, already putting some weight on to the g file, getting off of a tempo move from the c file, and well, who was complaining about draws earlier on? Captain Coleman, I think. This is definitely not players going for anything like a draw. Definitely playing for more. Yeah, expect fireworks. This is what this game. Stepping off of the G file, he feels it's necessary, and this game is exciting. Okay, so Lizo likes Black's king more because the B file is closed by 2 pawns. I don't know. We'll see. White's king is also relatively safe for now, since Black doesn't have great pawn advances. We'll have to launch his attack differently, but this is a very, very scary and dangerous position for both sides. I'm liking Black more as well. He'll be doubling and actually threatening mate in 1 very soon. While White doesn't have any clear way forwards, this trade... Okay. Making use of this pin. Also now the queen can defend g2. Trust Devon to come up with a concrete plan like this, in a position like this, that looks pretty good. That was a nice set of moves to get to this situation where suddenly your queen is defending a point with tempo, and this pawn is contributing in the center. Because of the spin, White has got better central control, it feels. If he manages to take over the center, he might be the one trying to expand and launch an attack on the king. Although he doesn't have a file like this to work with, he might be trying to do so along the 7th if he can get into the 7th. Okay, this is a big move to deal with. I'm looking at d4 as an option. D4 takes though. Bishop takes seems fine. And then rook a1. Knight c6, something like that. But then you've got b5, so knight c6 is impossible, and knight here is impossible. Ooh, that actually looks good for White. So defending that bishop another time seems pretty difficult. So knight c6 immediately. Okay. Now d5 would be blundering rook a1, and suddenly you need to probably just move your bishop back. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, but knight c6, this is what Keith chose to do. Also, notice Keith's bishops and the potential for this file to be run down. Knight c6 first, yeah. Okay, Lizo, you are also awake. Because if you're recommending the moves that the players are playing, then you are a great spectator. It's like playing without the pressure on you. Okay. For Devon now, Rook A E1 is still probably possible, but I don't know if you want to start moving your rooks away from this king potentially. By the way, we're not considering this, but we're thinking this game is going to explode along an opposite kingside attack, but there's another option, and that is that if a lot of these minor pieces trade down and the major pieces as well, suddenly Devon will be slightly better with this isolated d5 pawn, which is a passed pawn, but will be a huge knight d4 is coming, says Lizo. Okay, but by the way, sorry, the d5 square might be a weakness if they transition into an endgame. What's up, other Banele? Stronger Banele. Everything's well, man. We'll like suggestions from people in the comments section. Obviously, I'm also just a putzer, so try to... obviously missing a lot of stuff, but you guys are just hearing my own intuition. But when there's an engagement, we all learn, so that's pretty good. Okay, that's... You guys, I don't know if Rook G8 is GG. You guys are saying GG. I'm not buying Rook G8 as game over. Okay, so we've got one person predicting 0-1. I'm still fine for Devon. I think he's got this. He had a bad first game tonight against Marcia, but I think he's gonna at least get a draw out of this game. Or okay, I'm even gonna go as far as saying he's going to win the game because of the d5 pawn. Somehow he's going to trade pieces, and they'll be in an endgame where the pawn on d5 will be weak. It's going to be tricky as hell, but I think if there's anyone that can figure this one out, it will be him. By the way, Lizo's pointing out that knight to d4 is a threatening move. Knight to d4, okay. You can take it. I don't know. This king is very tuck. Sound like tuck... safe and sound, tucked in bed. He's sleeping while the rest of the game is happening. He's at peace. Meanwhile over here, these two aren't playing too quickly. We left the game here, bishop c2. Knight d2 is actually where we left at the beginning. Rook b8, knight f1, rook e1, and a lot of standard theory is still to do stuff like this, fianchetto. And extremely slow development from both sides, but very fun. And that is the Roy Lopez, one of the oldest openings. But we'll let these two players still, we'll leave them to it. This is where the action's at. One long pin being exploited by an f4 pawn. Opposite side castles, kings. Huge bishops, although black's bishops, well, both pairs of bishops are doing quite a lot of work. And tricky knights close to the center. Tricky queens, tricky rooks. Everything's just tricky about this position. All that I know is that if all the pieces I just highlighted leave the board, if all of them leave the board, these guys and these two guys, then I'm liking Devon's chances just because of this pawn. But that's still a long way ahead. And for now he needs to find a move for this current position. Okay, let's see. If you trade... Okay, as soon as I suggest something, it happens. Okay, if you take... What's the idea? Knight takes. Knight takes... You can start trading pieces if you really want to. Rook A1. Okay, bishop takes first. Okay, Keith wants his knight around. This might be good news for Devon, because this bishop's actually great. Coordinating with the queen on g3, with the back rank threats in mind as well, Devon is super happy about this. He just trades off the piece immediately. That was my intuition as well. I didn't see a trade coming, but that was my point exactly. If there were trades, then the d5 pawn is weak. And the attack also becomes less. Remember, if you're the side that's getting attacked, you want to start trading down pieces. The less pieces around, well, the less the attack will be. And this is precisely what Devon is up to. He says, let's get rid of the knight. You can take the bishop for it as well. It's fine. You have the isolated d-pawn. I could deal with your attack for now. You don't have another pawn break, and I might have a potential target here for the endgame. Liking Devon's way of playing this so far. Okay. What about a rook move now? Rook a, e8. I still think you're fine. You can just trade, right? Rook takes. Queen something. Honestly, guys, Devon is okay. After the trades, he's really okay. Was it necessary for Keith to take with the bishop? I don't think so. Taking with the knight, keeping the bishop around seemed more threatening. Stuff like queen g3 and then rook here. You guys like rook e8, okay? I just think you trade. You just take that piece, and then maybe Keith will need to try and play with the isolated pawn and try and push it through. But if it falls, then we're going to see more pieces trade and maybe Devon winning with a passed pawn on the king's side. Still a far way off, but we need to start considering these things, even in the middle game. Okay, so if you're in Keith's shoes now, you'd like to keep the knight on at least. Because you know if you're trading, you're just helping white. He's going to recapture or whatever. Or recapture. So you'd need to move the knight. And where to though? Knight g6, knight f7, knight here, knight here. You don't want to trade, and this move seems to trade. This move seems to lose the knight. This move trades. This move trades. So all four are backwards moves. Even knight g6 can possibly trade, right? If Devon is okay with allowing this, but I don't think he will be. So let's maybe knight g6 is what he's thinking about. Yep. Devon is joining Forex. He's trading everything. Okay. Devon is he's with Amazon Prime here. Okay, with Kalahari.org. Just trading everything. So knight g6, Lizo's also a fan of knight g6. I think so as well, because if the trades happen, you can go h takes, and then the rook and bishop, you can maybe consider sacking a bishop. Although you're blocking your queen's eyes. Knight g6. Right, let's consider taking it, right? Because you're playing... oh, you know what's wrong with knight g6, Lizo. You can just take the knight, right? So knight g6, and you take... h takes, sorry. And then the move queen to e5 check trades queens as well. And even though the pawn's on g6, your first move came with tempo, and you're threatening knight to f7. So some kind of rook move to defend both that pawn and that threat, something like rook to g7. But I'm not buying it. It just seems like Devon will be winning suddenly. So knight g6 doesn't seem good because of takes, and if you want to go h takes, then queen to e4 check. So h takes isn't really a possibility. So now you need to consider queen takes. But then still, knight to e4, 5, tempo against the queen. Queen needs to move, and knight can go to f7, forking the two rooks. There is that one tempo though against the queen though to get out of the fork. So I think this might be what Keith is looking at. Queen takes here. Okay, none of that at all. Just rook a e8. Okay, so knight g6. There was like queen e5 stuff. So not moving the knight at all. Devon will be taking. Rook e8 was the first recommendation a while ago by Lisa over here. Rook e8 and just a trade. Devon is fine. My money is on Devon suddenly. Queen f2, perfect move. You're going to pin this rook. You're going to try and get queens off maybe, and then you're going for this baby over here, and maybe even this one. And oh, that was a suspenseful situation, but it seems like Devon is going to be taking this one. Are you already scared of that? You can even you can't play queen. I thought you could play queen f4 because you're going to be taking the rook with check if the queen moves. I just didn't consider that was mate. I just thought it's a pawn. Some people are saying this is going to be a draw now. I don't think so. I think Devon will be taking the game. Not sure how though. He can start with rook a e1 if he wants another trade. Rook g5. Okay, maybe you need to be careful. You don't really want to play rook g1, do you? Okay, rook a1. He says let's just trade rooks, but rook g5 now. And what was his plan? Just rook g1? Okay, let's get to the other game. Rook g5 is played. I think rook g1 is the plan. What's happened over here? Okay, so okay, not much. The move g4, we left the game before this and creates a square for the knight, but g6 looks to fianchetto and keeps out the knight. No pieces have been traded. All the pawns are still on the board. Very close center, so this is a long strategic game. I don't know if Banele chose the right line exactly. It feels like if he went for d4, he'd be having positions he's more used to than what he's gone for now, and that might have been more profitable for him. So he would have liked rook h5. Oh, we're talking about the previous game, probably now. Okay, so bishop h6. God, this is a very bland game. I'm even thinking bishop f6 is possible. You can put it down on h8. Okay, let's see what happens there. Let's get back to this game. Rook h5 instead over here. Okay. Setting up this sack. Okay, rook h5. I still think rook e3 is an answer. Rook e2, rook here, and now he's going to play rook e3 in any case. Wait, you can't. You've been overloaded. Whoa, whoa. Keith is sneaky, guys. Keith is super sneaky. Okay, you've still got an option here. You can go bishop here. Rook takes. Queen takes. Everything is fine. Rook takes, queen takes, rook takes. Everything's fine. So bishop here is seems like your only option. You could even start by giving a check. That's an interesting comment, okay. The Roy Lopez is a theoretical win for black. After move 30, white is out of ideas. Keith will win this. Financially, I'm not agreeing with you. I'm saying Mr. Devon's got this one. Look at that weak pawn over there. If we could just manage to... Bishop here doesn't work, right? Because of bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes. But maybe you're transitioning into an endgame. Check. Takes. The rook needs to move. You can take that pawn. No. Okay, maybe Keith has got something. Because he's threatening to sack the bishop. As well as that he's threatening white's bishop. So he didn't go for rook h5 immediately, which was Lisa's idea. By the way, after rook g5, rook e3 is not the answer. So you need to go rook here. So he's threatening bishop takes h3. So bishop takes h3, rook takes, g takes, rook takes, and you need to give up the queen. And it seems like Devon has made peace with bishop takes h3. Okay, so what's the idea? Bishop takes, g takes, rook takes. Queen blocks, check. Rook takes, and you've lost. No, what's the idea? Does he have some back rank planned? something with check and then G takes, rook takes, right? There's not much you need to calculate. You need to give up the queen, rook. And then black's got 2 pawns and a queen for a rook and a bishop. And Keith is winning this suddenly. And Manangelo, you just you just upset my prediction over there. Okay, this is pretty crazy. I wonder what was wrong with bishop f5. I get that bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, rook takes is bad, but it's not over yet. Like GG, I'm wrong. I don't like being wrong, but it's fine. Is there some way to There's nothing to do here. Devon's going down. Queen f4 check, king just moves. And you're back to where you were. Nothing fancy. If only rook up, check, king here. Is this something? That just seems absurd. Maybe king up. Wait, king up, check. No. You need to go for this, right? Rook takes, and now you're down 3. Okay, so at least the pawns are still kind of targeted, but come on, guys, this cannot be good for Devon. Unless Keith does something stupid like he goes king a8 and then moves the queen here and moves the rook here. There's no way that Devon is getting this anymore. He's probably going to throw in the towel soon. So we're going to have one big game to focus on. Yep, Devon is becoming Mfundo today. Whoa, okay, so stuff happened over here. Okay, after bishop h6 we got knight to f8, and then the first pawn break of the game, d4. And sacking a pawn for potential attack on f7. But after bishop here, Mfundo is perfectly fine. And Devon fell out of the train. Yeah, Mfundo shook him out of the train. And Mfundo's busy. Well, the big question today was whether Mfundo will be able to hold the train up over his head or not. But it seems like the train just fell on his head. But bishop f6, right? You need to play it. Why is he thinking so long about bishop to f6? You need to stop the mate threat. I don't see another way. f6 is a way, but I don't like that nonsense. Okay, bishop f6. Mfundo, if he's got a simple move that needs to happen, he needs to play it. Okay, so what has Benele really got? He's got a position that he's not. He usually doesn't play these types of positions. It would be funny if he blunders mate, right? Marcia blundering mate. That would be like completely not hearing or not even seeing the train, right? You'd be like this big train, but you're just oblivious to it. Okay, what's that about? Is Marcia just being fancy? Oh, he wants the rook on b2. Oh, I like this. Oh, and the pressure is on. This isn't clear for Benele what to do, right? Black looks very comfortable. Very comfortable indeed, and white might have more concerns, right, than black. Meanwhile, Devon has resigned. He played bishop a2. And after queen here, resigns. What's the big issue though? You can not take the pawn because of queen takes. So you'll need to move your rooks and something, and it's just very annoying because you can't really do anything except for go back to where you came from. And then you're dealing with this check as well. So you need to play rook e1, but then this check. Actually, there's nothing to do about these checks. Oh my word, okay. And if rook moves, then this check, and then just going back for that check. So Devon went down. So we're focusing on this game now. Let's see... if Devon at least has time for a call, and if he can give us any guidance into this game. Since I don't know if Keith will be answering. Whoa, is that a pawn? Knight to e6. And there goes a pawn. You could probably say there goes the game as well. That pawn was doing quite a lot. Was there a way to defend it? I think rook e6 was fine. Rook e6 was fine. Or even rook g6. You've got two rooks actually. But Masia just blunders the pawn. Okay, so Devon's not answering. Let's see if Keith wants to talk about his recent victory. Okay. We actually need to ask him about his prep over there. Okay. Well, Masia wants the queens off. He can go queen takes here. But then you need to deal with that check. Activity over material, exactly. Good point. Knight a3. You can go queen here, but... Ooh, this starts looking good for Masia. Even if the trades do happen of queens, if queen takes, rook takes, then you still need to worry about these active minor pieces. And you only up one pawn, and it's a slightly weak pawn. Okay, and another big point to make is that Masia is down to 21 seconds. What am I studying? I'm studying music. I'm a third year piano student. But you guys can see the similarity, obviously, between the black and white pieces, the geometry, and the aesthetics of chess. Looks good, but is 20 seconds enough? That's the question. He gets the pawn back. He got a queenside pawn. But then they gave it back just to relieve some of the pressure. But Masia's got the bishop there. He doesn't have the time. Just play bishop back. Try and make a pass pawn here as soon as possible. Just push these babies. Maybe bishop... No, you need to defend the pawn first. So just rook a8. And if rook up, then you're going to have a fun game. So just push this pawn now. Don't think. Just push. Push the pawn. You don't have enough time to play stuff like this, Masia. What is this about? Just push the pawn, man. Go for it. As soon as the bishop intervenes, there's no more pushing it. So he needed to get it up quite... Okay, so take and push the pawn. Push the pawn. Come on, you must be seeing this. Come on, Masia. This guy wants to go. Yeah, but Masia's not pushing the pawn, guys. He's scared to push the pawn. There's a few bishop moves that can upset the pawn from being pushed. I don't think this one is that great because bishop here. But... move like this, and Masia's not pushing his pawns. Come on, just get the pawn here, get the one here, and then push this. Oh, there we go. Finally, there goes. Finally, there go the pawns. Yeah. How many of you guys are watching? Also, students at uni at the moment. Push the pawn, baby. There goes. There goes the a pawn. Banela's trying to be Friss as well, and he says that this is also pass pawn. But come on, guys, who's he fooling? There's a big king and bishop in front of the pawn. You're not getting past. And here comes b4, a3, and a2 actually, I think will be a good game. Masia's got this one, and he's having a good day today. First year computer science at Tux. Okay, welcome, guys. Oh, so you weren't at last year's USAS then. And unfortunately, you won't be going to this year's because it's completely cancelled. And that was actually one of my highlights of last year. I didn't expect it to be so fun, but it was extremely fun. Yeah. Oh, so we've got another fall student here. Okay. Cause of double bishops. Here, this check is nice. Vanilla is also running out of time here. Competition is good. Look at this stuff. King f4, b5 check. King has one square, and then bishop check over here. And it's just like these bishops are great. Okay, Marcia needs to make a move. Come on, guys. He's wasting too much time. I'm expecting this, but what is the story with this? That, and that, I think, will be winning a bishop. So, bishop here, rook check. This is what Banele shouldn't be falling for. Bishop here, check. King here. Oh no, it doesn't work. Because b4, he can take that bishop. So he's going to go for it. After this check, he's going to play king f. Yeah, and after this check, he's just going to play king here. And his bishop will be fine. Yeah, this is the blunder I was making in my calculation. Banele figured this one out. But Marcia should just be throwing the bishop back. There we go. He's playing well, playing with tempo. He can move this pawn forward with check pretty soon. But meanwhile, Banele was sneaky. He was just trying to get the king over to the queen side where the passed pawns are at the moment. Okay, so defends with the rook over here. Likes his knight defending the pawn. Setting up a discovery. Are there any great discoveries? I can think of one that's fairly nice. So Banele needs to step out of that. King is running out of options. These bishops are doing a great job. By the way, king here, bishop check, king here. This almost looks like mate, right? So king just steps out immediately. One square is still open for the king to run to, but bishops like this. I think Marcia's taking this one, guys. I think he's some desperate moves by... Whoa, can he play? He can't play rook here. This bishop's too good. Bishop here, bishop to f3. Rook check. King here, and then another rook check. Okay. He's going to start off with a rook check. I guess so. He's got 8 seconds. These bishops are fantastic. Can we just thank them for their great work so far? Okay, knight f1. I think it calls the position, and then rook takes. There's 1 second, 0 seconds. Whoa! On the nick of time, he makes a move. No time left. Okay, Marcia's taking this one. He can trade down. King moves, rook takes, and he's setting up a mate. Oh no, he just blunders right there. Okay, it might not be over. He's still got some passed pawns. By the way, sorry, just 2 seconds ago, he was winning, completely winning. Check, and you can take... Oh, it doesn't really matter. Let's just go back to the game. I was wrong. The bishop was still there, but he could be losing now. Okay, white doesn't need to respond to this rook, but Marcia needs to run the second passed pawn. Meanwhile, this knight is going to enter. Oh, guys. He just blundered a knight. Oh, there goes the bishop with check. Here goes the game. There goes the game. Here goes the game. Marcia's just going to resign. You can't still win this. There goes the knight. The pawn can't push further. The bishop's in time. The king is just going to step over and help out as well. That has got to be very painful. Marcia had the game right up till this blunder. By the way, Banele nearly went down on the clock before this move. He had 0 time on the clock. 0.1 second. We can go watch that in slow motion. Get a replay of the clock over there. But this was a huge blunder. Just see the winning continuation here. It should have been very easy. Minus 58, guys. Banele saved a minus 58 position. How in the hell? The clock strikes again. Marcia. Bishop to e3, and it's completely drawn. Even a3 was enough. That's a simple move. a3. A2, A1. A3, just a simple move. I think I was considering this check and saying that you can go rook takes g1. Oh, it does actually work. The king needs to recapture, and you can pick up a piece. This was the simple continuation I was looking at. But obviously a3. If you see a3, then why not? How's this rook coming back to stop a1 making a queen? a3, bishop here, rook b1 check, bishop. Well, king needs to move, right? You can even play f2 here, I guess, but you can trade the rooks. And you've got a slightly better situation than just now, but all of this is pretty obvious. Poor Marcia, completely winning over here, minus 16. And he played so well to get this advantage. Look at that. Then blundered into equality, and then ended up blundering the game with the last move and that check. Current standings. Let's just say sorry, Marcia. That wasn't. Okay, so current standings. Well, what happened to Devon? He lost. So Keith is in the lead. Keith, 3.5. Then Banele on 3 suddenly. And Devon still on 2.5. And Marcia on 1. Okay. I don't know, can you guys still see the standings over there? Let me just check. Kind of, I'm not making it big enough. There we can make the standings a bit bigger. There we go. Final round. So the possibilities for the final round. Pretty much it looks like Keith is going to be walking or taking this tournament home. And unless he loses, and Devon wins and Banele loses. But I don't think something like that is possible, because the pairings for the final round is somewhere around here. Devon and Banele. So Devon and Banele need. Well, Devon needs to win. Banele needs to lose, right? And Keith needs to. What? Keith needs to lose, and Marcia needs to win for Devon to still. So Marcia needs to win the last round, and Devon needs to win the last round for Keith and Devon to end up tied in first place, if that makes sense. But still, anything can happen in this final round. But wait, where's my little window capture? Here we go. Okay, so it's starting in a minute, the last round. Never doubt the evil twins. These guys are in the lead, 3 and 2.5. But as I'm saying, guys, wait, come on, why am I not? Just make that thing a bit bigger. Here are the current standings. Here we go. Keith and Banele are in the lead. Devon and Marcia. But if Devon wins and Keith loses to Marcia, then we've got. Well, is there a situation? No. Okay, there's obviously no situation where Marcia even gets a second place after that last game. If he won, though, then he would have 2 points and Banele on 2. Keith on 3.5. The only person able to catch him would have been both Devon and Marcia are not in a good space. Okay, so you guys are saying that the twins, if the twins make a draw, they're completely through with the tournament. Yo, Mfundo's definitely playing better than these guys, and it's not getting the results. It's like the Blitz thing at the end is not in his favor. Let's see, as soon as they start. Okay, so Banele and Devon. Final round. Devon needs to win this game if he wants to have a shot at first place. There's no other way around it. And Veer Masia will be playing against Keith. Yeah, that must just be so depressing for Masia at the moment. I do not want to be him. Okay, here go the games. Okay, Keith on 3.5 with the black pieces. Masia on 1. And it could be that the last game just destroyed him, his love of chess and anything else he ever hopes to do with chess. He's never going to play the game again after that game. Okay, so we're still waiting for a move. The wolf is not online yet. And the twins, they're not starting yet. They discussing they need to draw strategy. Since Lisa, why don't you play 1e4? Is it just to avoid the royal pairs? I mean, you can play the Duke of Piano, you can go for the 2 knights. There's so much fun stuff you can go for with 1e4. I just didn't expect Banele to be the kind of guy to go for Roy Lopez in general. Being a 1e4 player, I thought he might be... I know Scotch is not completely him as well, but I thought he might have something else up his sleeves. But then again, if you want to be a 2100 player like he does, you at least need some theory in the Roy Lopez. By the way, here we go for the Roy Lopez again. This time Banele's got the black side of the pieces. So according to Lizo, he theoretically just be winning. But we'll see. Devon is not unprepared. If Banele has got something prepared up his sleeve, I would recommend him playing the Norwegian variation. That is 1 b5 immediately, bishop b3, and knight a5 immediately. White has got the possibility of sacking a bishop. Knight takes, but then the move king e7. Be careful, right? Don't go king e8. Okay, so we're not getting any of that. Just d6. Okay, very slow, c3, bishop d7. d4 will come soon. Okay, we'll get back to that. This game's still not starting. Okay, e4 still, only move. Keith is thinking about what to play, because obviously Masia's got some tricks up his sleeves. And that's completely true, Liesel. The best way to actually go about opening preparation is to go on Wikipedia, read up on the main ideas. Don't even see the moves, but just to see the positions that arise from them and see what people say about those positions. And then go play a lot of blitz games using that opening and trying to figure out the feel of the opening. Also go through GM's games. But cramming lines is not the way, right? So you need to understand the reasons behind a lot of the moves. Okay, we have a quick g6. Very quick g6. I like it. White is not playing d4 quickly. Okay, there it goes, but it just feels like there was enough time to play g6. And bishop g7 takes. You might have some problems, right? So bishop g7 will hold on to the pawn for you. And your rook on a8 is also defending your queen if there's a trade. So this seems fine for Banele. I don't know too much about this specific line. I think the move g6 is interesting. It saves some time for black. But one of the things I think you like to do as black is you like some queenside expansion. As we saw with Masia playing it, he actually played it really well. Yeah, Masia was playing the Roy Lopez really well against. But this all seems fine still. Okay, we'll get back to that. Has this game started? Oh, wait, it started and it's nearly over. Why do they do that? Okay, so we had this. Okay, so little Frenchie here from Keith. as we could expect. Quick queen trades. By the way, just notice the imbalance. Queenside majority for Masia. Very equal position, but I choose white simply because of the queenside majority, and you are already in an endgame. Masia for the win in this game, and that's what needs to happen for Devon over here to still have a chance at first place if he wins the game over here. I don't know if there are tie breaks. I can ask them on the group afterwards. If, say, it does happen that Panele and Devon draw and Masia ends up winning, which I know is also very highly doubtful. It actually just depends on Masia winning the game for anything else to happen. So I don't know what the chances are we going into a tiebreak, but so far so good for Masia. So far so good. This is what I like to see. And no weaknesses really for white. Yeah, if they're tie breaks, I can't imagine them favoring anyone else besides the twins. If let's say one of the twins goes into tie breaks with one of the other players, I can't see that the other player will will get out of that game unharmed. So I think it will be slightly unfair for anyone that's not a twin. But here we do have the standings. I've highlighted the top players. I'm making it slightly bigger so we realize what's happening. Oh, there goes the screen. Oh, sorry. Okay, so a slow game over here. We're gonna have two very slow games. The final round of the tournament. 2 nights so far. 2 very fun nights. I think they should be arranging events like these more often. At least once a month. And I like the Thursday, Friday night thing, because usually on a Saturday and Sunday there's so much other chess happening. We need something else for the weeks when... yeah. When there's not enough chess. Okay. They made it white offers draw, black declines draw. Wait. White offers draw, so I think Keith wants more than a draw. But why would he? He'd have 4 points, and even if Panele wins, he might be afraid to go into a tiebreak with Panele if Panele ends up winning in this game. So he might want the full point instead of the half over here. And that might be a good strategy for Keith at the time, for the time being, to notice, because well, that being said, if your opponent doesn't want to draw, you just need to play for the draw, and they might just overextend. Okay, so be careful. I think the G pawn was hanging at the end of a trade like that, so that's what that is about. But also there's slightly, might be some holes now in white's camp. So this game moving a lot slower. Expecting knight d2. I don't really see anything else. Knight d2. g3. Are you suggesting g3 for the other game? Probably. I don't see g3 as an option here. g3 is what Masia just played. So g3, b4, and now it trades. Keith, Black offers draw. Black offers draw, guys. This game might end in a draw. Masia might not want to play this anymore. It's a very dry position. Does he feel like he can win this, though? If he plays b3... Masia is thinking about the draw offer. You know that once you send a draw offer, you can't revoke it. So you can think about the draw offer for as long as you want to. He can really go into a deep analysis here and decide if he wants to have 1.5 points out of 6. So not the best tournament result, but I don't know if he's going to get anything more out of this game than a draw. He does have a potential maybe for one passed pawn, but what you're doing with that passed pawn I'm not too sure of. A4, is that... Did you guys think maybe Keith is offering the draw because he realized he blundered something here? I don't know, it seems very dry. Liesel suggesting A4. See if it trades, it won't be good, but A4 and maybe A5 if you get the chance to. Try and fix these pawns on the light squares, get your king in, go hunting for them. You could play for more, I don't know. Okay, so Masia is going to be thinking about the draw. Don't be surprised, we're going to leave the game now, but don't be... Okay, they made a draw. I would have said don't be surprised if they make a draw when we come back. But this game was agreed to as a draw, and that means that Keith ends on 4 points. So Keith is on 4, and there's not a good way to update that, and Banele on 3. So there's no way for Devon to catch them anymore, but if we want there to be tie breaks, we really need to be rooting for Banele. Masia ending on 1.5 points. So I think in order to support the fact that we like to see a lot of chess, we should be rooting for Banele in this game, as he's the only one that would be able to offer Keith some competition, or well, the only one that will be able to go into a tie break as the standings are currently. Yeah, Banele, you're right. There's nothing to do. We can see on the computer analysis here. It's just a dead draw. A4. Well, the computer's suggesting A4. You can just sit tight. Even E5 seems good. Yeah, this is just a draw. Ooh, Devon closing the position. D5. D5. Knight to B8. Very spicy. This is a big game. Okay, I think we're gonna get Masia on the line, and we'll get... Masia's done with the tournament, so we'll hear what his experiences were of the tournament, and if he can... what he thought of it, and if he's happy with his results, stuff like that. What's up, man?
I'm good, you?
No, I'm good, man. You are on stream again.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. No, just so that you know, your chat is public. I don't know what the rights are and stuff of that. I just probably need to give you a heads up.
Okay, cool.
Hey, man. So we saw your final game. Guessing it there was nothing more than a draw over there. But I think we are more sad for you about your previous game against Banele. We
I was a bit disappointed.
a bit, man, just a bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Oh man, that was...
Yeah, no, that was a bit disappointing, but man, it happens.
What completely was like going through your head? Because I mean, your eye was probably on the clock, right? So you were looking at the clock, and you probably saw him being flagged nearly, because he went down to, I mean, zero seconds.
Well, yes.
It looked like he was just gonna get flagged as well, and then he managed to just move the bishop back to a7. No, wait, it was like a6, a light squared bishop, and then you made the blunder of blundering your bishop, and then
completely blacked out there.
Yeah, you just didn't see that bishop still defending that square.
I don't know what happened there, honestly.
Do you still have the game in front of you or something?
I don't have it in front of me.
But you remember. So what was your what were your thoughts when you saw Banele go into 1e4? Was that disrespectful of him going into your turf?
No, I assumed he prepared something because he knows I always played the Sicilian, and I think he did.
Okay.
Although he seems to be denying, but I assumed he prepared something, so I was not really that interested in playing that.
Okay, and then you guys went for Roy Lopez, and you feel comfortable.
Yes.
You felt comfortable with that too. Or
Not that much, but also he didn't feel that comfortable, so
yeah,
equal footing at least.
It's
Better than
definitely-
going into a prep line, yeah.
you were definitely better after a while. It looked like
Yeah.
he doesn't know that type of structure as well as the D4 type things he goes for
Yeah,
usually. Yeah, no, that's the impression I got. And man, but it was a fun event in general. Are you watching the final game at the moment, Banele and Devon?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me just following it.
Okay, so in order for there to be, I guess, more chess, Banele needs to win the game so that there are two players ending on 4 points.
Ooh.
If you follow me, right? So Banele's got
I
3.
follow you.
Yeah.
Wait, but Panele has how many points?
3. So if he wins this game, he's got 4, and Keith has got 4 points as well.
Okay.
So
And we'd need a tiebreak to decide who is, I
Yeah.
guess, first
Yeah.
and second.
I guess you guys didn't think about a tiebreak yet, but I guess it will be like a blitz game or something, a few blitz games,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I did tell them that we'll decide.
if it happens.
Yeah, depending on if there is.
But we obviously want to see as much chess as possible, so we're hoping this goes into a tiebreak. So nothing personal against Devon. We're just rooting for Banele at the moment.
I don't know. I think Devon has played well, and if he
Yeah.
does this game as well, very much deserves to
Well, he
get
won't.
first or second.
Yeah, he'll be getting second place if he wins.
Second, yeah.
A clear second place. Well,
Second is still $200, I think. So
Yeah, it's-
still good.
still good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you like his chances then for the current position?
I don't know. We just opened up the G7 bishop, which I do not like.
Yeah.
But then again, his position is just fine.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
I'm
there are
not
big
sure
problems.
If he wins this though.
And this time Banele actually they went for Roy Lopez as well again.
Yeah.
I don't know, what does Banele usually play with black pieces against 1e4? He's a Sicilian player, right?
Sicilian.
So what do you
Or
think?
Sicilian. So again.
Do you think
here's
he's
the trap.
you think he's doing this because he saw what nice position you got against him in the previous game?
Nah, I think it's just purely prep. He was disappointed yesterday with his score, and he prepared
Something
a lot for
else.
today. That's what I say. But he'll never admit that, so
Yeah,
we might never know.
he won't ever say that he's been preparing. He'll play it cool.
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think he does it like that? Is it to show you guys that he's not intimidated, or?
I'm not sure, but I think all the SATOR players kind of do that. All of them sort of shrug off studying. It's
Oh,
almost like everyone just wants to be talented, and they all want to just, I pitch up on the board and I just play, and I beat you, so haha.
oh,
But they
okay.
all study a lot and they all work on their game, so I don't know what's that about, honestly.
No, it's like it's not cool to study chess. And,
Exactly.
oh, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is the first time I guess you hosted the event, right?
In a way. I
In a
guess.
way, yeah. Do you have any other events like this planned? Because a lot of players were commenting they also want to be part of something like this in the future.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll be in touch with you, and
Okay.
we can make something else happen. But always up to have some chess fun.
Yeah, definitely. And your favorite game so far of the tournament that you played?
That I played.
I guess your game against Devon, right? That was a great game.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice game. Knight f7 was a nice fight.
Yeah, that was
And
great.
I'll admit there was some preparation there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where were you prepped though in the game? I'll go to the game.
Up to
Let me just, yeah.
up to like bishop e6.
Let
Up
me
to
just.
bishop e6 by him, I was prepped. Bishop e6, I don't remember checking that. I don't know why I didn't check that. But I remember it wasn't mentioned on the top move, so I assumed it was kind of a mistake. And in general, I had a specific line prepared, but also I had the general scheme that I was going for in mind.
Okay.
And we played the exact same line over the board, so I knew he would go for that.
So he's played bishop e6 against you over the board.
It wasn't bishop e6 the first time. The first time I took on f4 with the rook.
Okay. Yeah.
So after e takes f4, I took rook takes f4. So this time I switched it up and took with the bishop.
Okay, and then you thought he'd
So
go
I
bishop
thought
e6
he-
and go queenside or
Sorry?
something. And so you just had a feeling he'd go bishop e6 when prepping this.
Yeah. When prepping, I only prepped like g5 first. That's the move you play there. There's this Carlsen Caruana game from
Okay.
the old championships. Yeah, so yeah, that's what happened there. Just g5 immediately. So
Oh.
played bishop e6, which was I'm not sure if I responded correctly, but
Yeah, you played e5. It
it
seems
worked out.
your computer just likes playing knight f3, but it's probably the same.
Yeah.
Because g5, there
Completely
was
the knight backwards.
when I was commentating, I was making the blunder the whole time of trying to nip that e5 pawn off of the board by playing queen d5 check, and even if queen f2, then
Wait,
taking
queen d4 check.
queen d4, sorry, and queen
Okay,
f2, and then
yes.
bishop e5. I thought is good, but then people started saying, well, I guess queen f2 isn't good. Just the rook f2 or king h1 is good, because then if you take the pawn. Yeah, then you've got knight f3 picking up, well, what looks to be a piece, but it's actually more complicated now that I'm going through it. In any case, it was a very
There are
rich.
a lot of tactics attached there.
Yeah, it wasn't. You've been giving up pawns quite often in this tournament.
It's not good. I am a tactical player, but yeah, I've been given maybe too many pawns.
Yeah, do you think too many?
I think too many. Yeah, I don't know. Playing online
Changes your
feels kind
choice.
of different. Over the board, I really like. Even though I'm tactical and I always try to be energetic, I'm really so liberal with my material. I'm
Yeah.
always very
Unless someone is
scared
liberal
of
with their material,
giving away
because
material, so.
you're part of a Pawn Grabbers Anonymous club, so
Sorry?
you're part of the Pawn Grabbers Anonymous club, man. You've said so before as well. So it's
Wait, you're glitching a bit.
sorry,
Didn't hear that.
Pawn Grabbers Anonymous. You're part of.
Yes. Okay.
So it's funny to see.
I'm part of pawn grabbers and not.
Yeah, you like grabbing those pawns, but it's funny when you give
Depends
it.
on the situation.
Exactly, yeah. But you tend to go for the extra
Yeah.
pawns. There was that game yesterday that Keith played against you, where
Yes.
he went for that pawn on a5 and just ran the queen back and ended up smashing you.
Yeah, no,
that was
that was just really bad. I don't know what happened, but yeah, Keith prepared that line, and I vaguely remembered what to do because I looked at it a while back being maybe 2 years back, and in that position I just played knight a6 and I saw my a pawn disappear, and I was like, no, that's not supposed to happen. And then already, yeah, I was just pretty much off from then. Position's not really that bad there, but yeah, you know, when you think you're prepared and then you just lose a pawn, it's weird. But instead of knight a6, just knight c6, and then I get the position I want
yeah.
because I want to put my knight on b4. So that was very embarrassing.
It looked very brave from Keith's side just to go for that. A bit greedy though, and I think you felt it, and maybe
That one was just a mistake.
a bad game. But are you glad you ended
Sorry?
up? It was just a bad game, I guess, in general. Bad day for chess.
Yeah, I played quite badly.
Yeah, but today you played well.
Nah.
You played really well, I guess. You were supposed to take down Banele. The
I think
only
even yesterday, except for the...
yeah.
I think I played well, except for the Keith game,
Yeah.
that one that you were mentioning. Otherwise, every other game was
Okay.
alright.
Well, Devon's game was okay. You lost the exchange yesterday, and can't remember what happened in Banele's game yesterday.
But yeah,
Um,
that I was...
yeah.
I think I just need to fix a few things, so I'm not too disappointed.
Who else would you like to see participate in this tournament in the future? Out of the, if let's say the event has got let's say an extra round just to eliminate some players. So who else would you like to see? extra rounds. So you start with double the players and half of them get eliminated. Who else would you like to see participating in the event?
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Well, it's kind of centered around our group, right? SA Online.
yeah,
So, Lefu is one of the guys that's really good there. Okay, I don't know the other guys. I don't know. They all talk a lot, but yeah, Lefu is one of the guys. Maybe Calvin and
Calvin Klaassen. Or-
yeah, I really don't know actually. No, Calvin. Calvin in the group. I
Oh,
think he's South
Chew.
African chicken. Is
Yeah,
his
the
name.
chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, so I don't have to try. And yeah, I'm really not sure.
Okay.
They're all very similar in like strength, so it would be difficult to.
Some players are just better at rapid, I guess, than the blitz. So it's actually tricky to really predict how an event like that would pan out. Because we used to assuming the player's strength based on blitz. Yeah.
That as well, right? So
Yeah.
They play a lot of bits as well, so you don't really know how they do in long time controls.
Yeah. And it's also more fun as a commentator.
Would be nice.
Because it gives me more time to try and explain some of the stuff that's happening on the board.
In what sense?
No, if it's a blitz game, it just goes by too quickly. It doesn't give me time to fully explain what's happening over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get to really enjoy it, right? You don't get to relish it. I
Yeah.
don't think that's
Okay, man, but
too
it's
exciting
but it's been good speaking to you. I'm gonna try and get hold of Keith. He's not answering though. But any last thoughts on this position before you head off? What do you think the result will be? It has changed in the meanwhile.
I'll predict a Devon win here.
A Devon win, okay. Even though this G file seems a bit, it looks dynamic, like something could happen after G4 with a rook on G8.
G5 is G4. I mean, yeah.
Eh,
But I mean, the knight on A6 though.
knight,
The knight on A6 is very far.
yeah, that's true. And the rook is
I'm not sure how
also,
it's coming.
but okay, maybe, okay.
Yeah. So,
It would be exciting, a Devon win, but we're hoping for a Banele win. Maybe I'll say goodbye, and then that also gives you a chance to think about how the tie breaks will work, in case Banele ends up winning. Okay, cheers, man. Thanks for organizing this and playing, and for your time, man. It's been very fun.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, man. Okay, what's up, Ironic? We are looking at Banele Mango and the guy that wins, Devon Smith. And this is actually the final game of the tournament. And it looks to be drawing to conclusion. G4 has just been played. If Banele ends up winning this game, that means we might be going into tie breaks. Banele is playing G4 immediately with the hopes of a trade, and Rook G8 with tempo saying, you're not defending this pawn immediately. I can take here with tempo next move. A very aggressive way to actually go into this. He could have prepped this, I guess. He could have played Rook here first. I don't know if it makes a big difference. Maybe he's scared of some queen moving away or something. I don't know. Lizo, what is your prediction so far for this game? Marcia over the phone, he thinks Devon is walking home with this game. But my predictions were still Banele, especially this G file opening up. Bishop H3, Rook G2 or something. White still holding on. This knight is still very bad. I think you have to play Rook C2 in light of this knight. If Rook B2, then we might see a sack on B4. And if Rook takes, just simply Rook takes check, King moves, and Queen H5. So you can't have that happening ever. What's up, Manesh? I don't know. This time I was predicting a Banele win, so I don't know why you're saying GG to me. I'm also agreeing with you guys. Black has got this game. Although this is slightly awkward. We don't like to see this as chess players. I feel like there might still be some way to weave your knight into the position. Probably c5 can be played, and if b4, then you can maybe wiggle your knight in or something. I don't know. As the time gets low, yeah, the time is getting lower. Devon is also a great blitz player. Remember that there are a few 2400s in the group, and he is the only one. He's one of the only other ones, and under 14. That's still very young. Okay, so rook g3 by Banele, really great idea. Preparing to double rooks. Still a lot of pressure here. You're not just simply getting your king out, I guess. King h2, does that achieve anything? Queen h5, and you can't even think about taking that bishop because queen takes checkmate. And Banele will be taking this game, and we'll be getting an update on how the tie breaks will work. Well, soon. I think we'll be getting an update. Bishop takes g2 could have worked immediately. Bishop takes g2, rook takes g2, rook takes g2, king takes g2. And then queen check maybe? It might be asking for too much. There's no reason not to take the time, I guess. And also as white, I'd be really trying to get queens off by now. So something like knight to d1, rook here. This doesn't work. Just queen h5 and you can resign. Queen h5, that's game over. Queen h5, there's nothing to do. Does he want to go g takes and try rook h2? Sorry guys, I'm saying resign prematurely. This is crazy. This man's just crazy. King h1. He says this rook on c2 is going to help him a lot. Bishop takes check, rook takes, queen check, king here, rook takes, king takes, other rook enters, check. This is what Banele is looking at. King moves, right? I think he's getting mated. Queen check. Yeah, this is the end of the road. Bishop takes, I think. You need to go for this. Wait, bishop takes and then start with a queen check. Just to get the queen in. Of the king moves, then check. And then bring in this rook. And... well, no matter how the queen is entering. So, definitely bishop check and then queen check. This is the winning continuation I found. Starting with queen h5 though, immediately, was the thing that I think Devon is preparing for. Because he wants to go g takes, and then after queen takes or rook takes. Okay, Banele. He's still getting this game, definitely. But now, what's the story with g takes? Rook takes, rook h2, rook takes, king takes, and queen mate. That is why instead of going for king g1, I was trying to do something with knight to d1 or something. To try and just pin the queens and get them off. Because I don't know, knight d1, what would black's response have been? Even if the queen moves, you can try that check or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just fruitless. King h1, rook, rook to b2. This is brave. If he survives this, I'm going to have to give him a standing ovation. Here comes the knight with... the knight that wasn't doing anything is now doing a lot. Takes, and then we're going to see all of these checks. The queen will enter. I don't think Banele is even calculating anymore. He just knows this has to be good for him. King moves, another check, and then both these rooks are in the game. If he survives, this will just be crazy. Seriously. Discovery check against the queen, and I think we'll be seeing resign now. Okay. We'll be getting an update on how the tiebreaks work soon. Considering that this game is practically done. Devon just went down badly. There's nothing to do here. Your queen is dead. Your king is also dead, I guess. There's a mate, even a mate, starting with rook check, king takes, check and then mate with the other rook. I think it's mate in 3 or 4. We'll say mate in 5. So king here, and then what says king f2. Well, the problem is takes and then this mate, so there's nothing to do about that. So doing something like this, just bishop takes d3, and these rooks are still mating. Okay, so stick around for the tie breaks. I'm expecting to see some tie breaks. Asking them how the tie breaks will work. Vanilla and Keith are tied at 4 points each. Okay, we'll give them a second. Captain Coleman, you can go and make yourself some coffee. That is good. I hope it won't be over, but I also do hope they do start the tiebreak games. Make it a few blitz games. That is, if they are having tiebreaks, they could just decide to split the prize money. First and second place. We'll get an update in a second. Okay, that was a great game by Banele, by the way. Let's go and see what Liesel's idea was about. He had an idea that you could play bishop takes g2 immediately. Look at this chart over here. Where did he really go wrong? Bishop takes g4. 2 games, 1 white, 1 black. Okay, so here are the tie breaks. 2 games, 1 white, 1 black. 3 minutes plus 2 seconds aside. I don't know if you guys can read that. Okay, let me just show you guys what the tie breaks look like. There we go. This is what the tie breaks are about. To decide first and second, 2 games, 3 minutes plus 2 seconds aside. And well, I don't know what happens if they end up drawing that. There's probably a system as well. Sorry. 3 minutes plus 2 seconds aside. Who do you guys think will take the tiebreak? It's a simple blitz games. These two are both murderers. Okay. I think they'll be playing now, so you guys can just stick around. I'm putting my money on